Okay, you know, David, in all honesty, it's hard for me to believe that we are talking about senators, legislators, congressmen who are not good Americans. I mean, I have to, maybe I'm still naive. I want to believe these people are good Americans. They may have another point of view, and I'm willing to discuss that point of view with them. But they have to be willing to listen to me if we're going to have that discussion. But I'm not going to go as far as to say that they are un-American or that they are not as much of an American as I am. I don't want to go there yet, okay? I'm trying to stay away from there. It's just hard for me to believe, and we read it all the time, and you send me articles, and I keep up with your blog, and every time I read something like that, I go, come on. We're all in this together. We are Americans. I can't believe that anybody's working that hard against me. But
yeah, all I can say is that in their wisdom, the framers of our Constitution understood quite well the concept of domestic enemies. And I don't expect to turn your show into a forum for that. That's what you have ornery curmudgeons like me for, doing my own thing on my own blog. So.
Yeah, well, David, nonetheless, you keep us right up to date with what is going on, and I do appreciate that. But before I let you go, wasn't there something about a sign in the at the NRA convention, maybe at a hotel or something? Is there some reference in here?
Yes, a colleague of mine in Charlotte, North Carolina, Paul Vallone, who's also with Grassroots North Carolina, and Paul does the Charlotte Gun Rights Examiner column. He attended the NRA annual meeting, and they also had a gala for gun rights at the Charlotte Marriott City Center. And lo and behold, right in the middle of the convention, it just happened to appear on a Friday night, a printout taped to the wall, no guns allowed. Well, meanwhile, you have hundreds of conventioneers that are staying in this hotel, that are paying good money to stay there. You have a gala gun rights event that has been booked at the hotel because it was not a posted area. And all of a sudden now, you have not just we've taken your money and, oh, by the way, you can't have anything that you might have brought with you in terms of personal defense, because they're saying that the lobby is an area that can sell and consume alcohol, and therefore there's a law that says you can't have it. And of course, you can't buy a drink in the lobby, so that statute doesn't apply. But the bottom line is, by posting it, they actually not only disrespected these people who came and gave them their business, but they created a legal liability for them, because as Paul wrote, it becomes a misdemeanor to be in a posted area and to have a firearm. And you know that all of these conventioneers, they came into town, many, if not most of them, who did not fly, and even some who could have taken it with their luggage with them, or people with things to demonstrate or whatever. It just is untenable, and the hotel gave them all kinds of excuses. So Paul did a wonderful expose-type article, and rather than give out the long and convoluted URL to get to his piece, if you come to my site, at the bottom of all of my Examiner columns, there's a little box that has links to all of the other gun rights examiners in all the regions and cities. So if you just come to my site and look for Paul Vallone, Charlotte, and click on that link, you'll be able to get to it. And that's something that I encourage every gun owner out there to read and to go ahead and write Marriott Management and check Marriott's in your area.
Let me ask you a question, though, David. Now, are we absolutely certain that the sign was put up by the hotel? It wasn't put up by a state-mandated something or other, or the security people who? Because I have a list of people who did attend that gala. Now, I can maybe understand that sign if it's sitting in the bar. Okay, yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable with it, but if you're going to have that sign, maybe put it in the bar. Who put the sign up? We're absolutely certain it was the hotel.
Paul has had discussions with the general manager of the hotel about the sign, and the manager told him and gave him the rationale for why the hotel initiated the posting of the sign, and this was after the conventioneers had already arrived. So yes,
okay.
Paul is absolutely certain. He has documented it. I encourage you to read his column and see for yourself the painstaking level of detail. You know, you're talking about a guy here. Paul is a very savvy and long-term grassroots activist. Heck, the guy's a commercial airline pilot. I mean, you know, you're not talking about oh gosh, am I going to use the term fly by night? No, I'm not going to use that term. But you're talking about a very savvy, very experienced, very serious-minded activist, and he has painstakingly documented this entire episode.
Okay,
so I encourage everyone to read it.
Here's what's so ironic about the whole thing. I did a little research after reading your blog, and one of the guests at the gala, well-known John Lott, now the author of More Guns, Less Crime. It's in its
Right.
it's in its third printing. And you put the sign up. The hotel should be lucky that the people didn't get really upset about it, and maybe they did, but it seemed very foolish move, and that's why I wanted to clear up whether it was actually maybe security, because I know there were a number of congressional figures there. If they had put it up, I guess I could think about that for a second, or if they had it in the bar, okay, I can think about that. But to just have the hotel put it up, that's almost like saying, no, never come back to my hotel again, but give me your money before you leave.
And I think that at this point, no one is asking for anyone to do anything more controversial, James, than read the article that Paul wrote and see for yourself what transpired, and get comfortable with what transpired, and that what you're reading is in fact the way things happened. And there's corroboration. Dave Workman, the Seattle Gun Rights Examiner, who is also editor of oh gosh, he's going to kill me, Gun Week.
Hey, all we have to do is go to the bottom of your blog.
There. And so, there are other people who have seen it and who have corroborated the story. But again, no one is asking anyone at this point to do anything more controversial than just read it, see for yourself what transpired, and then, if you're so inclined, to contact hotel management.
Good idea. Send them a letter. Send a letter to somebody. Send an email to somebody. It's probably very published. I'm sure that we can probably get that anywhere if you just go and Google it. So I think that is probably a very good idea. Register your complaint with an email with the hotel, stating, politely that was rather stupid on their part, if you can say that politely.
They're just very sensitive. I mean, I think I have a right, if I'm going to book travel accommodations, I have a right to know whether or not the hotel is going to welcome my rights to come along with me. And if not, then you know what? I will make alternate travel accommodations. They're not the only brand in town.
That's right.
And somebody else will leave the light on for me. Okay?
Right. And they had a gala there that night that was sponsored by the NRA, no doubt. So it sounds like somebody did something very dumb there, and they should be criticized for it, which we are doing. And for those of you who attended, we encourage you to send an email to that hotel registering your complaint. David, I got to run. I got a couple of shooting clips coming up. I got to go. I'll see you again next week, pal.
See you, James. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.